If you started calisthenics and you built up a foundational strength, but you don't know which skills to start with, don't worry, I got you, G.
They think you're a monster.
I'm gonna make him an offer, Captain.
Wake up to reality.
So in today's video, I pretty much want to talk about the topic on which skills to start with as a calisthenics beginner. And so for this video, I'm going to cover the top 3 skills that you should be focusing on as a calisthenics beginner. And those 3 skills are going to be the L-sit, the handstand, and the muscle up. And I will also be going over the progressions and how to build up to these skills. And so I will make future videos on each skill specifically. If you actually go on the channel, I've already made a skill on how to do the muscle up. I already made like a more in-depth video about that. So I will be making more in-depth videos and tutorials on how to do the L-sit and the handstand. So the first one that I want to start out with is pretty much the L-sit. This skill is basically a core skill. It's like one of the easiest skills to learn in calisthenics, if not the easiest. Trust me, you'll see how quick you can actually learn this. It's really not that hard. But to be fair, it does depend on the progress of the person. It may vary. Some people do take faster than others, or some may take longer. But this skill is a fairly easy skill and really shouldn't take, I would probably say, no more than 5 months to learn, max. So the L-sit is pretty much a beginner calisthenics skill that mostly focus on like the muscles, like your core muscles, like your abs, definitely your hip flexors, which is a big part of it, and also your upper body. It really doesn't focus more on strength. It's mostly about technique. This is one of those skills where it's mostly about technique than it is about strength. You still need the basic strength, obviously, but it's definitely about technique and also a little bit of mobility. And so I'm going to be showing you and telling you the progressions on how to learn the L-sit, or the progression that you can use as a way to achieve the L-sit. And so the progressions for the L-sit is the tucked L-sit. You have the bent knee L-sit, which is like your legs a little bit more extended and fully out. Then you have the single leg L-sit, which is like, you alternate with legs. And then once you do that, then you should be able to get the full L-sit. The next skill that I'm going to be going over and talking about is the muscle up. So if you have not seen the video that I've made, I've definitely already made a more in-depth video on the muscle up. I'll put it somewhere on the video, probably like the link in the description or whatever. But just to go over the muscle up. The muscle up is a beginner calisthenics skill that mostly focuses on like upper body strength and also explosive strength as well. And so the muscles that this skill mostly uses is your back, triceps, your chest, biceps, and triceps. So it's mostly like upper body. So it's not technique, but it's mostly with strength, specifically explosive strength. And in my muscle up video, I pretty much talk about this as well. And so the progressions that I'm going to be telling you about the muscle up is 1, obviously do a pull up. You need to start up with that as well. Be able to do pull-ups and also dips as well. That's something that you gotta start out with. Just have the basic strength. The next progressions for the muscle up is what you want to do is first off is to have a false hook grip or like an overhand grip. Then you want to have like a slight swing towards yourself. You want to be able to swing first. Then you want to be able to pull yourself up enough to where that at least your chest is above the bar, or at least to where that it's close to your waist. If you're able to pull that high enough, then after do that, then you use your knees or you use your lower body, your legs as momentum, as a way to carry you up over the bar. Once you're able to get over the bar, then you pretty much just do a dip. You go from a pull-up to a dip, or more specifically, like an explosive pull-up, and then you transition to a dip. which is why you have the overhand grip to make the transition easier from the pull-up to the dip. And the last one that I want to talk about is the handstand. Now, the handstand is not a hard skill. Well, it is hard to master. As far as strength wise, you really don't have to be that super strong. Just like the L-sit, this beginner calisthenics skill mostly requires technique than it does with strength. And that's something that's very emphasized on it, especially if you want to master it and get the balance of it down. You can have all the strength you have if you don't know how to balance yourself, and also be able to use your core and engage your full body as you're standing upside down. And so the muscles that mostly involves with the handstand is the shoulders and the triceps. Definitely the shoulders, and also additional is also your joints as well. So a tip, and I will also say this when I make a more in-depth video about the handstand, but for the handstand, it requires you to have mobility in your joints as well. So you definitely gonna need your wrist, if definitely of that. I've also made a video and a guide on how to basically get better wrists. I'll put it somewhere on here. I've had like a wrist routine that you can go and follow along. That'll help you get a lot better wrists. So, because you definitely need your wrist when doing the handstand. And the tip with the handstand is that you have to stack your wrist on top of your shoulders. So you have to stack them straight. So pretty much is where that it's like your body has to be in alignment for you to actually be able to master the technique. That is one of the things that you have to remember when mastering the handstand or even starting it. And that comes with the technique, is that you have to remember you have to align your wrist with your shoulders. Your body has to be in alignment for it. And so the progressions for the handstand that I'm going to be going over is so the first progression that's basically start out is, because with these progressions you're going to start small and then progressively make your way to more and more greater loads to your body. So with the first progression is going to be the crow pose. The next progression that you're going to be doing after the crow pose is going to be the pike hold. After you can do the pike hold, you're then going to want to put your feet on like an elevated surface, whether if it's a chair or a stool or something, and you're going to do an elevated pike hold. After you do the elevated pike hold, you're going to then use the wall. The wall is your best friend when learning the handstand. Just remember that. The wall is your best friend. Or even if you want to do handstand push-ups, the wall is your best friend. So after you do the elevated pike hold, you're going to go to the wall and you're going to end up doing your chest to the wall. You're going to do a handstand, but your chest is going to be facing the wall first. After you're able to get that down, then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to turn around and to where that your back is going to be facing the wall. And so this is where you're also going to learn how to maintain your balance, but also learn how to do handstand kick-ups. So with handstand kick-ups, you're going to learn how to find the sweet spot, or find where you can get the balance from. You can also practice your handstand kick-ups on the wall as well. Or if you're feeling badass about it, you can just practice handstand kick-ups without the wall. But also just remember, if you're gonna do it without the wall, you have to learn how to bail. So pretty much you have to learn how to bail. That's mandatory, because the last thing you want is to attempt to do a handstand and you fall straight flat on your ass, or you might break something possibly, but we don't want that to happen. We want to safely, progressively overload. And so that's pretty much been the video so far. Like I said before in the beginning, I will make more in-depth videos about these calisthenic skills. I've already made one about the muscle up. I will put it somewhere in the description or even on the video. And if you want a wrist routine as well that you can follow to help you get better wrists, whether if you're having wrist pain and you want more flexible wrist or just better wrist overall, I've also made a wrist routine as well that you can follow along as well. I'll put that in the video as well too. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video and if you thought that this really benefited you, you already know what to do. like, comment, subscribe, share it, all that good stuff. All right. See y'all in the next video.